Hey, good afternoon. It's a Trigger Rich Bontrager back for 2 p.m. with the Trigger. Happy Monday. Hopefully, you had a great weekend. I know I did. The Christmas season, the holiday season is officially underway, and it's just great to be out and enjoy. Hey, let's admit it, the food, the fun, the decorations, all those things. Yeah, it was great this weekend to go out and enjoy some of that. Today, we're going to get into a fun conversation. I've actually just completed two interviews back to back over the course of the last 2 hours. And the question of the day that I'm getting from a lot of the interviews and everything are you camera ready? And how can you help me be more camera ready, Rich? And that's a great topic. And that's a lot of what my coaching, but that's a question that people struggle with when you really think about where we've gone now with the virtual stage and with media skills and branding skills. Being camera ready is not just a quick snap of the button and you jump with a microphone or you quickly click on the camera and you go. That's not being camera ready. And I know a lot of people are still doing that, but that's not helping you and your brand. It's not helping you show the best version of you. And it's certainly not helping you shine, which is what I'm all about. I'm helping you to shine on camera and stage so that your brand authority shines better and better and you get the results you want. You get the more likes, the share, the fans, the followers, and ultimately more revenue by the products and services that you offer through your business. So, are you camera ready? Answer that question. Drop it in the chat if you want to, as we're streaming today back on multiple channels. Great to be here. But are you camera ready? And what does it take to be camera ready? I'm going to give you a couple points today. And over the course of this week, we're going to talk more about that camera media presence you need to have to really have the punch that you want to have. And one way that, first of all, be camera ready is before you get on camera, get ready. And what does that mean? So, for both the shows I was on earlier today, one was a radio show and one was a streaming TV show on Facebook and other platforms, much like what I do here every day. First of all, I actually physically write down the name of the host, the interview people, research those people, research the host, find out who they are, what they do, so you can participate in full knowledge of what they are about and how they go about it. Listen to a couple of their shows, watch their personality, watch how they phrase questions, get an insight to who you're actually going to go on camera with when it comes to interview shows. It's really important, and write them down in front of you. If it's a video camera interview, sometimes their names are not on. Some of them Zoom box and other things, you now see the names. Thank goodness. But if not, write down their names so you have them in front of you, because as you interview and as you get interviewed, you want to call people by name. It adds a personal touch. One of the biggest things people love to hear is their name on radio and TV. They love it. Even when you have streaming guests, even when you have people pop in on the chat, we try to call their names out. People love to do it. So do your research first before you get on camera so that you know who you're going to be on camera with. Another thing I do is I go through some of my talking points. I talk in a lot of different areas. How to rock the stage is kind of the umbrella of what I talk about, but it's media persona, it's camera readiness, it's on camera skills. So depending on the angle of the conversation, I'll often write down some of those talking points so I make sure I get them in. Also, with that, sometimes I will even write down a story that I want to make sure I drop in to illustrate what we're talking about during the interview. So before you get on camera, make sure you have some of your talking point readiness, especially if you're new at this. I really, really stress this. Do not wing an interview. It's too easy to wing it and have it not get the results you want. So make sure you actually prep yourself and literally do this. I mean, I have notepads, I have Post-it notes, I have a lot of different ways of doing it. Or I just open up a Google Doc or whatever you want, type some information in, and have it either on your secondary screen or have it below the camera frame right here on your main screen. That's how I do my Rock the Stage show. I have a secondary document with some of the things we're going to do during Rock the Stage. So be camera ready, be prepped for your show. Have a run of show. If you're going to do your own show, you want to have your own run of show. Here's the introduction. Here's maybe the next upcoming shows you're going to have, the next guests coming up, the topics coming up, proper phonetic pronunciation of the guest you're bringing on. Never assume it's pronounced the same way, especially if you do international stuff. Make sure you get the proper phonetic enunciation so that helps you get more camera ready for a very slick and smooth transition into your show. Make sure you have good, maybe 5 starter questions. That's another good way to prepare for a good show and be camera ready. Now, let's jump out of all that because there's much, much more I can do there. But for you, I'm not talking about you, the person. You are the brand, you are the product. You are the most important part of any interview or any media project you're going to be involved with. You personally have to be camera ready. And what does that take? It's a little bit different from everybody. That's where the personal one-on-one coaching comes in. I work with people to help them figure out what makes them tick. But earlier today on one of those shows, I mentioned how I literally have a warm-up song that I play off air backstage. I'll use Carry On Wayward Son by Kansas. And yes, I will air guitar it. I will sing it. I get energized by using something like that to get me going. I just pull up my phone, get it cranking. Before I go on live stage with a personal interview or I'm going to do a keynote, I'm back in my green room, dressing room, whatever. I will crank that song and get show ready because I want to be buzzing. I want to be on top of my game. I want to be ready to go. So when they introduce me, when the camera hits go, the light goes on, I'm fully amped up. How do you get amped up for your shows, your streaming content to help you get camera ready? You don't want to be flat. You don't want to just be monotone. And you don't want to be crazy, but you want to have an energy. You want to have a passion. You want to have some sort of zip to you that grab people and say, now this is going to be fun. This is going to be really cool. And come on with that energy. But what's going to trigger it? Because more and more, like I am here in the Rock the Stage studios, it's just me. There's no one else here in the studio. So I have to figure out a way to get amplified. One way I did that early on in my radio career, I literally had pictures of my family right in front of the studio microphone. It was me and the studio, but I had faces I would talk to get used to having a conversation by myself to make it sound interesting. Even if I was reading the weather, I read the weather to my family, so it sounded more interesting because they cared, or so I thought. And so one of the things that get you camera ready, make sure you have those little things necessary. The more you're on camera, the more you're going to have to come up with your brand identity. My brand identity is blue and gold. That is part of the brand identity beside the nickname Trigger. And again, that's going to pop up. That's going to be on the captions, the name bars, the logos of Rock the Stage. But then I bring in my color blue, where I'll wear blue almost any time. Now, that means I have a lot of blue clothing. It's very intentional for what I do. I have wardrobe clothes for being on camera, more specifically only used for this. And I have day-to-day office and fun play clothes like I did when I was a kid. But that's another way to be camera ready, to make sure you're totally ready to go. I recommend no caffeine before a show. Do not crack open a soda and start chugging that soda down to get that rush, that energy. Don't do a Red Bull. And I do know people that do that because there's carbonation in that. And when you have carbonation in you, before you go on the air, you will most likely have a burp, a trap gas. It's just true. That's just how it is. You don't want to have that inflection to affect how you're looking and sounding on camera. Make sure a cup of coffee. Often I'll use a coffee mug with water. Nobody knows I'm not drinking coffee. It's a prop. But water helps keep things soft and keep them so it's easy as you get cotton mouth or get dried out. So have a way to do that, but do not get into the caffeine. Caffeine also constricts the vocal cords, and the more caffeine you have, it affects how long it will dry out the cords. It will affect your presentation, and your presentation matters greatly. One more thing that you do before you get ready to go on, and this is really important, especially on a full camera shot or if you're doing a stage presentation. Make sure you're properly zipped up, closed up, whatever, okay? It's happened too many times. I've seen too many speakers do it. I have my own story of an incident that didn't go wardrobe appropriate. And you want to make sure you are wardrobe appropriate. You don't want to malfunction, as they've joked about over the years. You want to make sure you are rock solid, as good as you can go to be camera ready. Let me ask you this as we wind down today. What do you do before that camera goes on? Really, what do you do before that camera goes on? Do you take a big deep breath, inhale and exhale? Do you get sweaty palms? Do you get nervous? Do you have no prep at all? You have no idea what you're really going to do until you're into the flow. Preparing to launch a great show is very important. Get camera ready. Get better equipped to be camera ready. And if you ever need any help, you want to know more about how to get camera ready, that's part of our coaching at Rock the Stage Media. Go to rockthestagemedia.com. We have coaching, presentation skills, interview skills. We help you to shine on camera and stage. And being camera ready is one of the most important things as more and more of podcasting becomes videos, as more and more of the videos will now become streaming TV shows, or they go to Roku, Amazon, and more network broadcast style outlets. You want to make sure you are totally camera ready. Coming up this week on How to Rock the Stage Wednesday night, when we bring our show to you live, it will be at 7 o'clock Eastern time, and we're going to talk about the future of media. I'm going to have a guest on this week that's talking about their app they've developed and how it blends the world of print, media, and like Instagram, media posts. It's a combination of everything, and how it's not just one stationary element, it's firing on multiple levels. Future of media. Got to be a great conversation. You don't want to miss this Wednesday night. Go to LinkedIn, go to Facebook, go to rockthestagemedia.com, get the link, and register for the show live. You can ask the question of the guest yourself. It's a great time, and please come join us for that. Also coming up, we do have another open mic night. If you want to start getting your skills sharpened to help you, join us on open mic night. It's on Meetup. Go to Meetup and find it for Silver Spring, Maryland, Washington, D.C. area. Rock the Stage Media has an open mic night. I'd love to have you join us, and that will be coming up on December 15th from 6 until 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Love to be back here every day. This is always where we share insights, tips, and tricks to better help you rock the stage in whatever aspect you want. Also, if you have questions that you want me to address, drop them in the chat, send me an email, and that email is rich@richbontrager.net. rich@richbontrager.net. Again, I answer all my own personal mail, comes directly to me. You have direct access to the coach and to the brand authority guy, Rich Trigger Bontrager. Hey, that's going to do it for today. But ask yourself one more time, are you camera ready? And what do you do before the camera goes on? We'll see you tomorrow, 2 p.m. with The Trigger. We'll be back with more insights to help you get more presentation skills to get elevated better to shine no matter the stage.